Okay, it is 1:30 p.m. on Tuesday, February 21st, 2023. I am Austin Wheelock. I am CEO of the County of Oswego Industrial Development Agency, and there was a notice of public hearing pursuant to New York General Municipal Law 859-A on the following proposed project and financial assistance. Notice is hereby given that a public hearing pursuant to Section 859-A of the New York General Municipal Law will be held by the County of Oswego Industrial Development Agency on the 21st day of February 2023 at 1:30 p.m. local time at the Town of Oswego offices located at 2320 County Route 7 in Oswego, New York, in connection with the following matter. Oswego PB LLC, a Delaware limited liability company or entity formed or to be formed by it on its behalf, submitted an application to the agency on or about October 5th, 2022. The application, which a copy is on file at the office of the agency, requesting the agency consider undertaking a project consisting of A, the acquisition of a leasehold interest or subleasehold interest in all or a portion of approximately 78.31 acres of real property located at 447 County Route 20, tax map number 164.00-06-02.08 in the Town of Oswego, County of Oswego, State of New York. And two, the construction on the land of an approximately 22.44 acre solar power electric generating photovoltaic system, including but not limited to solar panels, inverters, transformer, single axis trackers, racking systems, switchboards, energy storage systems, steel beams, wiring, electric poles, and other electrical and mechanical components and access roads. Three, the acquisition and installation in and around the facility and or for use in connection with the project of various machinery, equipment, furnishings, and other items of tangible personal property, collectively known as the equipment. And the land, facility, equipment are hereinafter collectively referred to as a project facility. And B, the granting of certain financial assistance in the form of exemptions from real property taxes, mortgage recording tax, state and local sales and use tax, and real estate transfer tax, collectively known as the financial assistance. And C, the lease or sublease of the land and facility by the company and or the owner of the land to the agency pursuant to a lease agreement, the acquisition by the agency of an interest in the equipment pursuant to a bill of sale from the company, and the sublease of the project facility back to the company and or owner of the land pursuant to a sublease agreement. The company will be the initial operator of the project facility, and also to make this known, the agency has not made a decision with respect to undertaking of the project or the granting of financial assistance. This Thursday at 9 a.m., the IDA will be formally voting at their offices at 44 Westford Street in the city of Oswego. So this has not been determined. This is a public hearing to hear comments for or against the project, which will be taken into consideration by the IDA board on Thursday. So as I said, the agency will, at the above stated time and place, hear all persons with views in favor or opposed to the project and or the financial assistance. And as I said before, a copy of the application, including a cost-benefit analysis, is available at the office of the agency for review by interested persons. This was put into the local paper on February 9, 2023. So before we get into comments, I wanted to give a description of the project and the financial benefits that are being proposed to be provided to that project. So, as we said, the project name is Oswego PB LLC. It's being developed by REC Development out of New York. The project involves the development of a 3 megawatt AC solar renewable energy project to be located on approximately 22.4 acres in the Town of Oswego at 447 County Route 20. The project site is part of a wooded parcel totaling approximately 78.3 acres. And the project developer is REC Development based in New York. Another thing that's important to understand is that the benefits being proposed for this project only apply to the 22.4 acre parcel, not the entire 78 acres. So that would be, the balance of the project would still be subject to normal taxes. It would just be the 22 acres inside what we call the fence of the project would be subject to the benefits. The project cost is $5,135,016. The impacts of the project are to address the New York State Clean Energy Standard by contributing to renewable energy sources. Environmental benefits include avoidance of 3,600 tons of CO2 annually. It would have a clean energy generation capacity of 3 megawatts. That translates to 5.4 million kilowatt hours annually, which is sufficient to service 480 to 600 homes. The project would create 30 construction jobs during the construction period. And here's something else that's important to understand. The average annual pilot payment made to all the taxing authorities over the 20 years proposed pilot would be $18,223 per year average. Getting back to what is being requested, the project has requested a sale-leaseback transaction for utilizing the County of Oswego's solar deviation policy, which is a 20-year policy. This starts, and this is where these numbers come from. The solar policy for Oswego County is $5,000 per megawatt generated in year 1, and then every year from there it goes up 2% per year. Escalates every year to the end of it after year 21. So the real property tax exemption is being requested. As we said, the average pilot is $18,223. The current tax being generated from that parcel is $779. The mortgage recording tax exemption would not exceed $34,661, and the sales tax exemption would not exceed $246,153. At this point, I will open it up to comments for or against the project from the general public. I would just state, because there is a lot of people here, if you make a comment, just state your name first so that we catch it on camera, and then I can catch it just with our names on there. I may have trouble trying to connect them to you guys, so just state your name when you make a comment for minutes. Okay. At this point, I will open it up to the public.
I might as well start. Marie Schad, legislator from the 19th district.
Okay.
Thank you for coming, Justin. I don't appreciate what time this was held for the general public. Very inconvenient for working people, but that seems to be the norm in Oswego County. Solar projects were originally developed to be placed on brownfields, played out gravel mines, and garbage dumps, which is a great spot for them. Not to clear cut prime timber. Great, we have some of the finest farmland in the country here in the Northeast, finest. And we're running out of it. China's trying to buy some of the Midwest right now. There's even talk that we'll have problems growing enough farm vegetables, fruits, to be able to support our population at its current rate. The value of the properties surrounding these solar fields definitely goes down, definitely. Gosh in New York and many other, and I even have, are placing moratoriums on these until we can get our head straight. I'm not thrilled with how the governor's handling this. It seems to be a knee-jerk reaction to speed up energy efficiency, and I'm all for energy efficiency. But at the cost of great land and people's property, I have a serious issue with it. And I want to go over the pilot numbers with you again, just so I'm clear, and I really wish we had a copy of what they filed here at the meeting rather than going over to the office, but I guess we'll have to go to that meeting. But it would have been more convenient for everyone here. The property owner is going to be the only one really having a great deal. The people surrounding it, many of them are planning on selling their properties. They come to me repeatedly. And they want to go in across Oswego taxpayer road. This is owned by the taxpayers. This is not a county road. And enter the property from there. We aren't even clear how much they're going to give us for that. They're very vague about it. I mean, we could file a permissive referendum and may do so, I'm not sure. But I just feel that we're seeing these solars everywhere out east. It looks horrible. I mean, on one hand, we talk about tourism. On the other hand, we're doing this And it's opportunistic. They're jumping on anywhere they can get on the line. And they were originally, and I will reiterate, proposed for played out areas. This is prime timber here. This is all prime. And you will put a cement pylon in. And I talked to everybody in construction. To pull one out, just to pull one out is a big deal. It's gonna be a massive pile of debris. Much harder than clearing the field conventionally. So I just want that on the record. And can you review again with me how much total the town of Oswego will receive per year, dollars and cents? I don't want to hear it over 20.
Sure, I don't have the, I would have to, oh, maybe I'll do that right here. So this is based on year one. So in year one, today, the property with the current assessed value is generating $110 per year for the town, $472 per year for the school, and $197 per year for the county. It is a total of $779. In year one of the project, it would create $2,124 for the town, $9,078 for the school, and $3,798 for the county. And those are based on, the way that's generated is it's a pro rata share of the town's tax rate compared to the combined tax rate of the school, county, and town. And so it's distributed that way, and it's done once per year. The pilots are distributed by March 31st every year to the taxing authorities. And like I said, that is the starting number based on a $15,000 payment in year one, and those payments go up 2% per year. Everybody's would go up. Now, the only thing that's a little different is that if the town, if any of the taxing authorities change the rates, it impacts the other ones, because we're talking about a pie. So if somebody changed their tax rate a little bit, it may change the other portions, just the way you chop up the pie. But it's typically not much if the towns aren't changing much.
It's pretty cheap for a $5.5 million project.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's all of the IDAs adopted policy, well, not all the IDAs, I think there may be some that haven't, but all the IDAs that have adopted policies based on, I believe they came from NYSERDA standards, which is from New York State. There was a range in terms of it should be between here and here, and the IDAs is right in the middle of that range of what they had proposed based on a per megawatt basis. So payment should be between here and here. So that's what the IDA adopted. They adopted that back in April of 2020.
It's a lot of power for the IDA on a taxing authority. I mean, I just think you possess a lot of power. They aren't passed just by the IDA. Whenever a deviation or any sort of a UTEP is created, those go to the taxing authorities, and they have to review those first and provide input back to the IDA before they can adopt it. So it's not strictly the IDA. So will this come in front of the legislature?
No, this would not come from the legislature. Yes.
I have a question.
Can you state your name?
Oh, I'm sorry. My name is Michael Newpoff.
Okay.
My question is, did the IDA provide any financial incentive for the solar project that's going in on East 104?
Which one is that?
Just past City Line Road on the right-hand side as you're heading out east. There's a 5 megawatt project.
I believe so, yeah.
So
Majority of this project that we're talking about today, and any of the smaller ones that are under 5 megawatts, are called community solar projects, and those will typically, they would come to the IDA for financial assistance. They're eligible entities to come to the IDA for financial assistance. So I believe yes.
Then I would very strongly like to recommend that the IDA continue to support these community solar projects. There's no doubt that we need an alternative source of power for our communities and the state of New York. We need several hundred, if not thousand, of megawatts to replace that energy that is not going to be with us in the near future.
Absolutely.
I agree with Ms. Schaaf that if this were in the middle of a rural, of a prime farmland or in a residential area, then I would be less encouraged. However, I went by the area where this is proposed. It's 1 mile east of the fire barn on County Route 20. It is a very rural area with very few people even around it. It is not 5 prime farmland. It's hilly and it's difficult to farm, which is probably why it's not being farmed now. It is not prime forest land because it's open and there's not a lot of forest there.
They've already logged.
You're in the wrong spot.
I don't think so.
That's it. I live right behind it.
So isn't it just before the swampy area?
No, it's on this side of the swamp. When you start coming up the hill, it's on the right. You'll see the 4 houses right here.
You
Before
can
you
see
get
it
to
from
the
the road.
When you start coming up the hill on 20, that whole right side.
Going west or east?
You're heading this
East.
way, east.
From
You
the
come
fire
out-
barn.
If you come out of here and take a
Right.
right, go to the top of the hill, he's
Right
got the
down
first,
the line.
he's the second house on the
Right.
right. That's where they're gonna put a road for the power lines. All right, as you start coming up the top of the hill, that's where they're gonna start. 27 feet from my neighbor's property is the first.
So
hill.
you're saying it's on the right side of the road?
Left side of the
on
road, if you're going up the hill here.
I'm confused.
South side of the road.
It's the south side of the 20.
From the south side.
So it's on the south side of 20,
Yeah.
past the fire barn.
No, you're coming, wait, you're coming from that side. Come right from here. Go up the 4 corners. There. Take a right. That's County Route 20.
Starts about 200-300 yards.
Yeah.
up.
I know that's County Route 20.
So you start going up the hill, that's where it starts, the roadway, right next to his house. It's going in.
And runs
Oh,
along
and
behind
all the way up
7.
over the hill and
all
down.
the way to the
So
town
it's all prime
highway.
land.
But it's not being farmed, there's nothing there
It's
now.
all
they
woods
clear
and
cut
roads.
it.
They got
Woods.
roads.
They
And it's
clear
got a big
cut it.
swamp down the bottom, which goes towards the town. It's all open, we hunt it. We used to, we don't anymore.
They went in and they
'Cause
clear cut it.
They're gonna go in, they already took all the woods out, good woods, but now they're gonna just go and clear cut it. They gotta put a road from the town, which they're gonna try to use. It's just, it's nice woods in there. If you ever walk it.
It's not anymore, but
Yeah, I mean, it's still nice, but,
So there's not woods there now, it's not being farmed.
there's some woods there, but not.
It's woods, they log it.
They took all the big heavy logs out, but, yeah. They took them up the town road. Now they wanna use the town road for a right of way. People live there, they don't, just.
they're all gonna have the solar in their
They're gonna have a big one
backyards.
over here. I mean, what do you need, a little small one? That's only a run out of a month. It's gonna be on the grid 5 to 7 days a month. That's the only juice that goes into that line.
Where does it go otherwise? It's gotta
Sits there.
go-
No,
They
No,
lose
it's gotta
it.
go into the
sits there.
grid.
It does not go on the grid.
Who said that?
The guy who works for National Grid was here the last meeting we had.
It has to go into the grid.
Don't go on the grid because the grid can't take it.
It gets
I don't have
lost.
the
That's
infrastructure.
Yeah,
would-
it
They
gets
don't have
lost.
the
I
infrastructure.
would say we'll
Yeah, whatever.
We'll move and we'll continue the discussion. Michael, do you have any other points you want to make?
Not this time.
Next.
I've got some things I'd like to say, but bear with me, I'm gonna do some reading instead of just speaking from the heart like Marie did.
Can you just,
My name
introduce
is,
yourself?
yep, I got it. My name is Noelle Solomon. I'm a Oswego County legislator for District 21, which does encompass this area that the project proposal is in. So I'm actually here to speak against the Industrial Development Agency offering to approve the pilot project, receiving financial assistance in the form of tax breaks. And there's several reasons for my opposition that I'd like to go through if I could. But getting back to the assessed value, I'd like to make a point about that. I am a realtor of 24 years and I can speak to property values. And I would say, for one, the current assessed value on 78 acres with a house and a garage is way under assessed. So I don't know how the assessed value is so low. But I will say that if that house was to sell with 78 acres, I know the house, I'm familiar with the house. Let's say it sold for 300 at a very low, probably more like 400,000, then that tax amount value, if it was assessed appropriately and sold today, we would be getting more as a county than the $700 that it's like.
Yeah,
So-
I'm looking at this here and it says 78 acres, but the project acreage is only 22, so maybe it's a assessed value assumed of what the 22 would be, not the
Yeah.
78, because the balance, you take the 22 out, the pilot's gonna be on, the balance of that 56 acres would still be subject to normal tax. It's not gonna be a free ride for the rest of that property.
Okay, so my point number one is that my constituents do not support the project. There have been at least 67, 68 signatures that I know of people in the district that have signed not in favor of the project as a whole. But instead of talking about the project as a whole, I'm just gonna stick to, what the hearing is about today. But I've heard from several people in the area that have called me complaining it's gonna go between their houses, it's gonna be in their backyard, right off their back deck, their view will be a fence, and then this project. They definitely don't wanna see the company getting, you know, financial assistance in order to bring it to fruition. As a conservative, which I am in favor of a free market economy. How about that? I don't know what happened to that, but in general, you know, a market without governmental intervention, where businesses can thrive or fail on their own, is what I think is what our economy and world needs right now. These solar companies are the opposite of that. They are already receiving tons of subsidies from New York State, the government, and in my opinion, to promote the agenda of the current administration about eliminating the use of fossil fuels. So we could argue all day back and forth on that, but it is not good, because it is these subsidies, in my opinion, that are what are making these companies thrive. It's not, so we're being taxed twice. We're paying for the subsidies at the federal level, we're paying for the subsidies again at the state level, and then now you want us to pay again for the subsidies at the county level. And it's not because they're offering any good or service that is financially sound on its own. Without the subsidies, these would not work. Have your utilities gone down? Anybody know?
No.
Since the inception of these? Mine certainly have not.
I have.
Also, you know, when I was reviewing
Yeah,
this,
so mine have.
I had to look up, you know, the IDA. I'm in favor of the IDA, what you do. I think it's fabulous if there's job creation and there's reasons, you know, to bring a solid industry or business, small business into the area. But the approval of this, I think, deviates from, you know, the IDA's mission for just at its basic element. I mean, part of your mission is to establish and implement sound economic development strategies. And some of the key goals that, you know, you strive to do is creation of jobs. This project isn't going to create jobs. It's going to, you said 30 jobs. Well, they're not going to be area people. They're going to come in, they're going to throw this stuff up, and then they're going to go away. It's not going to be any benefit to, if we're honest, the only person this is benefiting is, in my opinion, the landowner. Nobody else. It will not increase the county's tax base as a whole. And I think to leverage the greatest level of private and non-IDA financial assistance is what one of your goals is too. There's already several places, subsidies they could get from other avenues without using taxpayer dollars. And then 4, I guess I already kind of touched on this, as a realtor, we're always concerned with the highest and best use of land. And like Marie said, this is not the highest and best use of land, in my opinion. I've been a realtor for 24 years, and I've attended recently the Association of Counties within New York meetings, and there's a big concern rising about the Chinese buying up our agricultural land. How are we going to feed the population? So on and so forth. And the whole idea is, I would not be opposed if they wanted to use the brownfields, if they wanted to use industrial businesses that have gone under, you know, vacant rooftops. There's some ideas that people came up with, parking lots. Commercial businesses belong in commercial districts. This is a residential district. It is not fair to even if it's just 4 people that live on that hill that have to put up with this. And I guess I would leave it at that and say I would appreciate your consideration of the points that I brought up, and I thank you very much.
We'll make sure that between being recorded and then, like I said, that's why I need the names so that I can make sure that we take an accurate accounting in terms of the minutes. Those are going to be provided to the IDA members prior to the meeting.
Okay, perfect.
Kind of cutting it close since it's on Thursday and today's Tuesday, but we'll make sure that it's in their hands before they see that. Any other comments from the people in attendance?
Geez, I guess I'd like to say something. But
Your name, sir?
my name's Arthur Huff. When I built out here in '91, I didn't build here because it was woods. You know, I wanted to be in the country. So that's changing. You know, progress is progress. And I do agree that we ought to suck up all the brownfields and all the just waste fields that there are around. And you know, parking this thing by a bunch of residences that really don't want it, I guess, is not the greatest way to go. I have solar. I do benefits from solar, so I'm not a hypocrite. I think solar is a good thing myself, but not in my backyard. The other thing, this is kind of redundant, but the egress roads and ingress roads that they plan, one of them would be by my house, because National Grid's going to have to maintain those wires, and you know, no matter what, they're gonna be around more. And the fact that geez, I don't think enough people want to go through the town. They have to go through the town. The other option is by Sean's house, and I don't think he wants it either. Well, I know he doesn't want it. He's yelled at me. So that's the only really objections I have. If it was going to be built in, you know, down by Oswego there where the plant used to be, and it's just a big concrete slab now, that'd be great to me. But you know, you might have some houses in there too.
Yeah, and just one thing I want to share is that when the IDA approves benefits, we don't approve anything related to the siting of projects. I mean, that's still strictly is in town hands in terms of zoning and planning approvals. And the IDA, even if the IDA were to, benefits can only be closed on if there's full town approvals from the zoning and planning board. So there's local controls in place that if a town doesn't approve a project, that obviously it's not going to locate there, it's not going to site there. So I think that that's something, you know, when we first discussed this, the application came to us in October. We could have taken action then. The IDA did not take action because there was concern that it may not pass through the town planning and zoning process. I don't know where that is at this point in terms of if everything has been acquired by the project yet, but I would say that if the project does not get all town approvals that are required to get a building permit to build, then the IDA benefits do not come into play.
Sure.
So just to make sure that you guys are aware that, you know, we aren't approving a project to come into your town that you haven't even approved. I mean, it would have to be approved by the town for it to get to that level. So I just want to make sure you're aware that that's still something I think that needs to be understood.
Well, be advised that the one meeting that had a lot of people come to it. You know, a lot of people come that were opposed. The one meeting, I don't know, that just kind of went, I don't know, unrecognized, I guess.
Okay.
So, yeah, I guess we have got beef with our town officials, but you know.
No, and like I said, I mean, any comments that are made here today, and you guys, if you want to go and check it, make sure your name's in there right, and I spelled it right and everything, I would, you know, hold me to that, make sure that we keep that in there. So.
Hey, how are you gonna spell Huff?
H-O-U-G-H?
Nice.
Yeah.
You looked at that paper.
Not saying I didn't. But no, I mean, it's important to understand what the public thinks of all projects. And I don't want to throw him under the bus here. We do have a representative from RAC. And, oh, sorry.
I just got a question.
Yeah.
Have you looked for other sites other than that one?
I don't know. I mean, that would be the company would have to state that. I mean, we aren't looking for any sites. What happens
No,
is the company.
I know they're not. I'm just
Yeah.
asking if you knew if they had.
I'm not
They had
aware.
clear cut a lot down on the end of,
Yeah.
Bunker Hill and.
I will say for
No.
transparency, I was at 2 of these this morning for projects in the town of Alton. So and those are also RAC projects. So you know, they are looking across the county for locations that make sense. I don't know. The only ones I know of are the ones that have come to us that we have applications for and that we're in process. So. Yes, sir.
I just went in. My name's Bob Nelson. I live up on Gardner Road. I've been talking to a couple people who went to the other meetings, and one comment was, you know, I live up on Gardner, that's not going to affect me at all. But I am here to say it will affect everybody, that people, way beyond what people think will affect them. You know, when the migrant place went under and Great Lakes recycling came in, that changed my life. You know, traffic was by my house now, 24/7, tractor trailers, all hours of the night. 40 miles an hour is just an option, that doesn't happen. We put the solar farm, or the solar, whatever it is, up by the water treatment plant. I like to hunt, so I was out there the first day of deer season when they started building that thing. I thought World War II had started. I didn't know it was being built. It sounded like bulldozers were coming through my backyard. Didn't see a deer for a year and a half. They're gone. You know, it affects everything. And this project, how are the tractor trailers going to get there? Are they going to come in from Route 3 from 7? Are they going to come through Minetto? Are they going to come dip Johnson Road through the city? You know, people that live 2-3 miles down the road are going to have these trucks going by the place 24/7.
For years.
Yeah, for years. As Marie said, I work out in Mexico. I drive by that Scriber place. That looks like a freaking war zone. I mean, if I lived there, I'd be gone in a heartbeat. You know, when they closed the road up by the water treatment, that was a great shortcut for people. But boy, now everybody goes by my house, getting the mail in the afternoon is like a life and death situation. You know, I don't send my mother out there, she'll get killed. So there's a lot of things going on with it. You know, I certainly know it goes right by the house, I feel bad for them. But people 2 miles down the road are gonna have to deal with this too, 5 miles down the road. And I agree with what the two ladies said. I think, you know, I don't think I'm a tree hugger, maybe I am a tree hugger, but, you know, he got wildlife, you know, somebody said it won't affect wildlife. It will affect wildlife. You can't help but affect wildlife.
That's what we came out here for.
Water,
That's what we came out here
water
for.
runoff
Runoff.
changed dramatically. I did research, an average size oak tree requires 60 gallons of water a day. That's one tree. Average size, not huge.
That's why we'll be going over 20.
And I built where I built because I had a nice little patch of oak trees to the left of me and apple trees in the front. The town came through one year, cut down all my apple trees for me without my permission on my property. The guy next door built a house, knocked down all the oak trees. I used to see 15, 18, 20 deer in my yard every night. Now I see 4 or 5. I haven't seen a turkey in 4 years. I mean, it affects these things. And you're right, that's why I moved out here. If I wanted to live in a freaking madhouse, I would have lived in Scriber. No offense to the Scriber people, but, you know.
We'll not put that in the record when we make the
Yeah,
minutes.
then we did put that there.
My cousin lives in Scriber, she had a pig farm moving next door. That's why we came to Oswego town. End of sermon.
Any other comments?
Yeah, Sean Muldoon, I got a question for you. So, me, Art, and a couple other neighbors out there where it's gonna affect the most. So, our house is gonna devalue, so who do we go after, you know, make our property more valuable? Who's gonna pay the difference? Because it's gonna definitely hurt our value of our house. I know it ain't you, but I don't think it's fair to any of us that they're putting it right there. It's not right. There's, like I said, there's nobody that's making anything. The town ain't getting nothing great out of this. Nobody's getting nothing but Mr. Simmons and the people that are putting it in out of New York City. They won't use local help, which I can guarantee, or union help. It'll be somebody out of Albany like the one out there, or they'll be out of New York City.
Rat labor every time.
Yeah, it'll be all scab labor, basically. So, I mean, there's no advantage to anybody, like you said, 20 or 30 people working. They won't be from around here. They won't be out of our unions. They won't even be people around here. So I just think there's no value to any of us, or even the county or anybody. I think it's wrong, you know, and I went around, just around the block, and I got 60 some odd signatures. There was 4 people that didn't sign it, that didn't want it. One of them was our supervisor. And I just think it's wrong. I hope you guys take that into account, you know. They're building one down here at Nepco. That's gonna be huge. Let them keep it down there. That's an old desolate site that don't do nothing. That's a perfect spot for it. You know?
This is just like when Tesla built. It's a tax credit grab. That's just what it is. And I guarantee this project will be sold the minute it's completed. I gotta go back and earn a living. I paid $15,000 a year on one parcel. Thank you.
Marie.
See ya. All right.
I just hope you guys get that.
Okay,
That's, I'm good.
Okay, all right.
You got anything to say, Ed? No, I don't think so. You sure? I think it's all covered, Jake.
I don't think I stand a chance anyway.
Now we do, like you said, they still gotta get the roadway through, which, when it does come up, they pass, and then we'll take that next step, so.
Sir?
Yeah, I have family up in Canton, and they're talking about a massive project up there. It's like half the size of the town, it's like 5 square miles or something like that. Shit, I forgot what I was going with this, but. Sorry,
That's okay.
brain fade.
We'll come back.
You'll come back sometime tonight.
You're talking about a large scale solar project?
Oh, yeah, massive. Yeah, 2.5 miles over 2.5 miles. Both
Wow.
sides of the road on Route 11. You go into Canton, that's why you're gonna see it's nothing but solar. Oh, I know it was. They were saying that the life is only 25 years. What happens after 25 years? Is it gonna be like Amberville, where they're gonna come in and clean everything up?
Now, I believe 80-some-odd-thousand or 78, you can tell you numbers,
You know.
which will cost 3 times after review.
Yeah, I will say that any project that the IDA has required, any solar project, to have a decommissioning bond that is in place and agreed to. We don't create the terms of that. They have to come to the terms with the town that they're doing the project in. So if the town approves of it, we look at it and say that's good enough for us as an IDA.
Yeah, you guys don't make the price.
Right.
I just know historically around here, when things go bad, they don't clean up after themselves. They just gotta pack up and get out of town.
Like Ray said, it'll be sold.
And I've also heard that if the town doesn't approve this, the company's gonna slap a massive lawsuit on everybody,
Lawsuit.
which is why everybody's afraid of saying no.
Wait line.
I don't know about that. I do know that the state also has their own program that solar projects have done in other areas where if they don't go through the local IDA, and maybe Chris could, because I don't know exactly, but I mean, I know that they have the ability to go to the state and do 15 years no taxes versus doing a program through the IDA, which is why the IDA developed the program that they have. I don't know where that stands for projects at this point, if they have to come locally first and seek benefits, and if that doesn't work, then they can go through a state program and do something like that. I know that some of the larger projects, those ones that you're probably talking about, they're looking at doing things like that, so. It's, you know, the state, and then, as you said, the state has made the clean energy standard and renewable energy a priority. But the state doesn't own the properties and everything that comes out and filters locally, so we try to make the best projects we can with what the programs are that are out there and try to make something that is works together.
I think it's a great idea, but as people have been saying, do it on abandoned parking lots. I mean, there's a, shopping center down Central Square that's been empty for 20 years. The Hammer Mill site, and I know that's tied up in legislation, but, there's places.
Yeah, they're doing a big one right down here.
And that's a great
That's
place.
a perfect spot for it.
Yeah, makes sense.
It's abandoned old oil tanks, they're cleaning them up, put them there.
Yeah,
That's
does
perfect.
anyone also have some sort of battery storage too? I mean, I know we're getting under everything, but I'll keep it to this, I guess, while we're on camera. But is there any other people who wanted to make a statement for or against the project at this point? If not, it is 2:05. I will officially call the end of the public hearing, and all comments are recorded. We'll go on our YouTube page, as well as this will be a long one to write it up, but we'll have all the comments written up into a document that will be shared with the IDA members.
Now, who actually makes the decision? Is there a board?
There's an IDA board. It's made up of 7 members. The IDA board members are, 2 of them are county legislators, County Legislator Tim Stahl, County Legislator Mark Greco, Barry Trimble, Gary Toth, Len Schick, and Tricia Peter Clark are the 7 members of the board. So I don't get a vote.
You're just here.
I'm a
Here.
high-paid secretary to put together the paperwork for them and do these, so. But I do know the rules very well, and like I said, I mean, it's,
So you know the legislators, right?
so.
So you
But
tell-
those are the members who will take action on the project.
Okay.
All right, so at this point, if there's no other comments, last chance? 2:05, we will
Thank you.
officially call the meeting to an end.
Thank you. That's quick.
Are you